next stop sign, turn left. At the stop sign, turn left onto Evergreen Road. In half a mile, turn right onto West McNichols Road.
Anderson, Jim Costa in for Doug. You heard in the update. We opened the show.
At the next light, turn right.
University of Michigan. They are taking a little bit too much in their feet to the fire from former players, from a crowd in Ann Arbor today saying we want the university to do more. And they outlined a bunch of it. We opened the show with it. If you missed it, Odyssey.com, rewind. And you can go back through. But the reason why this continues to be historic, 'cause I'm sure a lot of people are going, really? What is this, day 6, 7, 8 in a row that I feel like I've heard the station talk about it? There's always an extra wrinkle to it, whether it was Brandy digging his feet in, the family of
At the light, turn right onto West McNichols Road.
and now more people coming forward and demanding for action from the university. It's because Michigan has not acknowledged Bo's role in any of this. They haven't acknowledged any wrongdoing on their own part in all of this. So until they step up to the plate
In
and
1 mile,
confront
turn left onto Southfield Freeway Frontage Road.
University, the story's only going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to grow, and outrage is going to fester. So, I mean, Gator, I know we said a piece on it, but just for people who are tuning in, what did you make of today's and the latest proceedings?
Well, I think it just it further hammers home the point that they knew about it and didn't do anything about it, and that they want to have justice for this. They want the Board of Regents to do something, and specifically, they go ahead and say, let's do an open and honest investigation about this. Get the Attorney General. And the Attorney General said that she's not going to investigate this unless the Board of Regents asks for it, because she tried to investigate the Michigan State Nassar situation, and was met with a bunch of, hey, attorney-client privilege, we can't reveal all the documents, and she was upset by that, so she's not even making an effort. In this case, she's already saying, oh, can't do it unless they say that they're going to. So we'll see what Michigan decides to do if they say, we need to be transparent, which probably would help if they were to agree with it. And in full disclosure, it probably would help Michigan State if they had done the same thing. But if there's attorney-client privileges or whatever it is that you don't, for whatever reason, you don't want to do it, and it probably comes down to money more than anything else. I mean, you can understand why a university would say something like that. And I'm not, if Michigan's Board of Regents says, okay, we're going to do it, I think it's probably a good thing. If they're not going to respond to that, then I can understand why they're not going to respond. I'm not going to
Go past this light,
our decision
then
to
turn
or not
left
to.
onto Southfield Freeway Frontage Road.
Let the Attorney General go into it. But what I do think they have to do is I think they have to acknowledge at the very least that there's more to investigate here with this case. They did the initial investigation, got the report, and it came back that players have said that Bo knew and that Bo didn't do anything about it. I think they need to dive in deeper into that and do a fuller investigation and let people know that it's an ongoing investigation and say something to the effect of, in light of recent accusations that have come forth, we feel the need to do a much deeper and thorough investigation. We will continue to do so to try to make the best of this
Turn
awful
left,
situation.
then take a slight
In the
left turn to
meantime,
merge
we
onto
also
M39 North.
want victims to come forward and tell their stories so that we can fully cooperate the best we can.
Well, when it comes to Bo, though, I'm not sure what more there is to investigate because you have how many players now with their names publicly speaking? 3 plus his own son plus the report.
Use the left lane to take a slight left turn.
But that needs to happen on something like this.
At least, I'm just saying, like, publicly, I mean, there's countless more that are obviously entangled into this mess. So I'm not quite sure what they would need to go investigate before acting with.
In 2.8 miles, take exit 16 on the left to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
People that bear his last name or that are his lifelong friends, and that person, Brandy, has big defenses. I'm just as credible as they are, and I mean, someone whose company do you want to be in if you're the University of Michigan? I think the least thing they could do is come out and say, yeah, our own report said Bo knew. Players have come forward and said Bo knew. We're deeply saddened that Bo didn't step up in those moments. We will no longer honor him in the way we once did. We apologize as a university for our wrongdoing, and if it costs us more money in the lawsuit, we're not going to worry about money. We're going to worry about
In 2
doing what's
miles,
right.
take exit 16 on the left to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
He supposedly was before all this came out.
Well, I'm a huge Chip Branson fan. I've known Chip for 25 years. I respect him a lot, and we've had great interactions with him. I consider him a friend, and I like Chip a lot. I didn't like what he had to say over the weekend. I understand that he holds Bo in such high regard, and I get that. But he can't go out there and equate his opinion of Bo with that of somebody who was a victim of the sexual abuse and said that Bo knew. Because, okay, that may not be the Bo that you know, Jim, but it's the Bo that these guys know. And it's 2 different things. It's not like there's 2 players from players, Jim Branstad and Giovanni Johnson, Gronkowski were on the same team, and they were talking about practice. We were talking about practices or having game management, you and having a opinion of Bo Schebacker, or anyone from him. When you're talking about sexual abuse, one guy experienced it, the other one didn't. So you can't talk about it. More importantly, their handlings with the coach when they went to the coach to talk about it because
Use the left lane to take exit 16 on the left to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
It's not a good one. And I don't know if it's just the simple blind loyalty, the blind unconditional loyalty that he has for the Schebacker, for Bo Schebacker and his family, but that's what it kind of comes across as. And then with Kathy Schebacker and Chip
Exit left.
his wife, they released that statement. It just goes on to be a little bit tone deaf and kind of nonsensical when they come out and say, well, Bo, I know he wouldn't have done that. He would have. We never heard about it. They never brought any of that to us. Well, no kidding. Who's going to talk about the sexual abuse scandal and bring it back home and say, oh, I tell you, we had a tough day at work today. Had 4 more kids come up to me and said that the doctor completely molested him. But I don't know what to do with this. They're not going to have that conversation. And oh, by the way, Kathy and Bo were
In 5.7 miles, turn right onto Inkster Road.
a lot of this stuff happened in the 70s and in the 80s before they were even together. So just take that into consideration too as to why they may not know anything about this. But the fact that they released a statement, I can understand a family statement being, this isn't the guy that we knew, and hopefully we're hopeful that an investigation is going to prove otherwise, but we don't know at this point.
Again, the reason it's a story today, not just the fact that players are speaking or spoke earlier, I should say, in Ann Arbor, but it's a story because they feel like the response has been inadequate. And I would say the response has been inadequate when you can't even mention Bo in all of this, when you can't even mention your own wrongdoing in all of this, and when no actions have been taken as more and more people come forward. So for people to want this story to be over, it's on Michigan to step up to the plate. If you want to hear more of it, Odyssey.com rewind. We got into it at 10 o'clock, spent a whole hour detailing what was said today. I did want to get into this this Lions topic. We'll do it when we come back. Is he being underestimated? Get your thoughts. It's 97.1.
Hey, you're considering pawning or selling something to get some extra cash, but you're not quite sure how to do it. Well, American Jewelry and Loan just made it easier for you because now you can book an appointment to pawn or sell at convenient for you. It's just that easy. Then when you arrive for your appointment, you'll meet with a sales loan associate who's going to help guide you through the entire process and will answer any questions you have along the way. It's just another reason why American Jewelry and Loan is the best place to get extra cash. And you're going to want to check out the showrooms they have there anyway, because if you're looking to, say, purchase some of the merchandise they have there, you're not going to believe the selection they have on luxury watches and jewelry and handbags and electronics and lawn equipment. Anything you can think of, they probably have it at American Jewelry and Loan. Check them out. They've got the 5 Metro Detroit locations, or look them up online at pawndetroit.com.
It's a good thing summer's here. Hi, friends. Bill Collink here, telling you about some of the great values going on during the Jeep Freedom Days here at Collink Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. For example, qualified Chrysler employees can lease a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4 for just $310 a month. Leases for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 out. So come see us. You'll be glad you did. I think you'll really enjoy your overall experience doing business with us here at Collink Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Collink.com.
The weather's getting warmer, and everybody wants to be outside, even your smart speaker. Crank up your favorite Odyssey stations on your Amazon Echo, Google Nest, or Apple HomePod at the pool or while you're grilling. Get your summer soundtrack from stations across the USA, from top 40 to rock, R&B to country. It's all here on Odyssey. Play your favorite station at your command, hands-free on your smart speaker. Your summer soundtrack is part of the universe of audio on Odyssey.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you could buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-885-8100. 800-885-8100. 800-885-8100.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough. And the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you, so you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just
Stay in
stop
the
by.
left 3 lanes.
Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Let your voice be heard. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 Ticket Studio line at 248-399797. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Turn right.
Better bets, bet smarter, and beat the books today. Download the BetQL app today to better your chances.
Turn right on Inkster Road.
Carson Anderson, Jim Costa in for Doug today. Listen, you get to the summertime, everybody puts their lists out. You get some inventory of what people think of your guy. CBS Sports put out an article, and it was top 10 quarterbacks. Of course, Jared Goff wasn't in it.
In 1.4
He wasn't
miles,
in the
turn
next
left
tier
onto West 14 Mile
as
Road.
others receiving votes. He didn't make tier 3, and he didn't make the list of guys to watch. In all, there are 25 different quarterbacks mentioned by CBS Sports. Goff's name, the only time it was found was in reference to him being considered a bust, saying, be careful with the hype about Justin Herbert. We've seen what happens with some of these quarterbacks after a hot start. Jared Goff, not a top 25 quarterback. quarterback. This also comes off of Pro Football Focus's list last month that had Jared Goff as QB 26 in the NFL. Gator, is he being overlooked?
I think he's definitely being overlooked. I don't know where he ranks in the list of quarterbacks, because the fact that they've got, quarterbacks who haven't taken a snap in the NFL, they're going to be ranked ahead of him right now. I get that it's all projecting. You don't know where it is. Where was he a few years ago when he helped the Rams get to the Super Bowl? Was he a top 10 quarterback at that point? Things changed dramatically for him with the Rams when Todd Gurley got hurt. They lost the running game. They lost some offensive linemen. There goes protection and also opening up the running game. Receivers left. That changes things also. Now, it sounds like I'm making excuses for Jared Goff. I don't know what he's going to be like with the Lions. And to me, it seems like the bar is so low from Lions fans that they expect nothing out of Jared Goff. And I just prepare people. I think it's quite possible he's a lot better than you think he is, which may just simply be average in the NFL. But average can be good enough if you can build the defense, if you can build a running game. An average quarterback can be good enough to win.
So the quarterbacks ahead of him, I'm not even going to give you the top 10. I'm going to go from there. Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Ryan Tannehill, Baker Mayfield, Matt Ryan, and Derek Carr were the just missed the top 10 crew. Then you have Big Ben, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Teddy Bridgewater in the next tier. Mm-hmm. Still no mention of Goff. Burrow, Lawrence, Wentz, Hurts, and Lance as a maybe next year could bounce back or are young quarterbacks and could blossom. No mention of Goff in the entire article. Nobody expects him to do much of anything in Detroit. And I thought we could ask Lions fans, because you say you feel like there's some people who don't think he's going to do very much. I am one of those people. I'm incredibly skeptical of what Jared Goff is going to bring to the Detroit Lions. The idea that he's overlooked, I kind of get why he's not on this list. He's not good.
Well, I don't think he's going to light things up this year. Let me get that clear either as well, because the team he's got around him, I think they've got a really good offensive line. I think they've got potential to have a really good running game. But the receiving core is suspect at best. You've got cast-offs from other teams, guys that have potential. They flashed for a season or so, but they don't have the track record of being a number one guy. Williams isn't a number one guy. Perriman's not a number one guy. They've got, a second-year receiver in Cephas behind there, and then you've got the Amon-Ra St. Brown, who they just drafted. They don't have this great group of receivers. What they have is a really good tight end, and they've got running backs out of the backfield that should be able to help the short passing game. But it's not going to be like this team's going to be averaging 300 yards passing a game with 3 touchdowns. That's not it. And I don't think that when we do evaluate him, it's going to be how can he manage this team this season. He's not going to be a 4,000-yard passer this year. Not even close. I wouldn't imagine. So it's, I think you got to take it all in and understand there's not much to work with from a receiving core. But I don't know if people are going to look at that. I think people are just going to look at numbers at the end of the season and say, well, this guy sucks. Let's move on.
I saw a list that did fantasy rankings. He was 30th among quarterbacks. People who are judging this from the outside and just saying, how is Goff going to perform this year? They think he's going to be one of the worst quarterbacks in football. And I think there are some Lions fans who may take that as a shot. I look at it and say, the Lions aren't some great elixir to revitalize his career. I mean, let's say it out loud. You expect someone to go play for the Detroit Lions and revitalize their career, especially not this Detroit Lions team that he steps into.
Yeah, I think from a fantasy standpoint, he wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole because he's not going to put up numbers, which is all fantasy is about. In terms of real quarterbacks in the real NFL, is he going to be good enough? It's not this upcoming season. It's in 2022. Is he going to be the guy that you're going to want to bank on in 2022 if you sign a number one free agent wide receiver in the offseason? If you draft somebody high to help out on the offensive side or whatever the case is. And I have the bar set kind of low as well for Jared Goff, but I'm not writing him off as being an awful quarterback because I saw him with the Rams when he was good. He wasn't great. He was good.
He was good if you hold his hand. That's all.
That's holding his hand, actually giving him a running back that can play and having receivers to throw to.
Gator, let me put it this way. People look at him and say he went to a Super Bowl and he won playoff games, and those are factual statements. Stafford had a higher quarterback rating in the playoffs than Jared Goff. He never threw more than 1 touchdown in a playoff game. And got to the Super Bowl, big bright lights, everybody points out he got there. He didn't throw a touchdown. He was 0 of 8 on third down to start the game. It's like, all right, you didn't get some playoff king. You didn't get some guy who's going to come in here and be a calming influence and carry a team. He's a game manager who makes $30 million a year. I mean, he's a placeholder. So I get why people on the outside are going, he's not even worth mentioning on a list of 25 quarterbacks in the league. Don't even worry about Jared Goff because he's insignificant.
Would you rather have Jared Goff or Teddy Bridgewater?
They're the same dude.
Right, and yet they're way apart on this list. I think the list is a little funky on here. I don't think Jared Goff is a top 15 quarterback in the league, but I also don't think he's a bottom 5 quarterback in the league or bottom 7 quarterback in the league. He's somewhere in that mediocre tier, and there's nothing wrong with that if you can build the rest of your football team around it to win. Are the Lions going to be able to do that? They're going to be able to build a top-notch defense. It's going to take a while because they were abjectly horrible. And you look at the offensive side, can they build a running game? Well, they might be able to build a running game, and that could help out. But no, I don't think Jared Goff is great, but I think he's got potential to be a hell of a lot better than anybody thinks he is. I think that the narrative has been shaped by the losing that the Rams had, and that the sheen was coming off Sean McVay, and he was looking for a scapegoat, and I think he pointed right in the direction of a quarterback that, by the way, played in a playoff game a week after he had surgery on his thumb. So I think you have to look a little bit deeper into it than just simply looking at a statistical line or trusting that, the quarterback soothsayer in McVay.
But was it scapegoating, or is it accurately identifying that their quarterback wasn't anything special and they had made a mistake by overpaying him? Because I think that buck gets passed on to the Lions. And let me be very clear, they were compensated for that. They picked up a couple first-round picks in the trade to take Goff back. But from the moment they acquired him, I know there's belief in the building because Brad Holmes helped draft him in L.A., but in the football landscape, the football world, he's insignificant, Jared Goff is. Now, I don't think he's going to be anything significant for the Detroit Lions. That's why he's not on this list. Now, if you're optimistic or if others are optimistic, we can try to gauge how people are viewing Jared Goff going into his first year as Lions quarterback, 248-539-9797.
I'm not terribly optimistic because of the team that they have around him. It's interesting. What would he have been like if he was on last year's team when they started off with a healthy Kenny Galladay, a healthy Marv Jones, and you got T.J. Hawkinson, and you got DeAndre Swift? Would he have done well with that complement of players? I don't know, but he doesn't have that complement of players this time around. He's got Hawkinson, he's got a running game maybe, but the receivers are not going to do him any favors. I'm curious with what Anthony Lynn's offense is going to be, because Anthony Lynn came in last year with a rookie quarterback real quick because of the injury to Tyrod Taylor, and all of a sudden that offense was moving the ball down the field, and a rookie quarterback became a rookie sensation. I don't think we're going to see that same thing out of Jared Goff by any means, because he had receivers to throw to over there. But can Anthony Lynn cobble together an offensive game plan that works to the strengths of what this offense has with the quarterback and with the running game?
Go ahead. 248-539-9797. Getting people's thoughts on Jared Goff. Is he being underestimated as he arrives in Detroit, as he flies under the radar going into the season? Not one of the top 25 QBs mentioned on a Pro Football Focus list or a CBS Sports list looking at quarterbacks for the upcoming season. Before the hour ends, everyone focusing on Rodgers, but there's a different NFC North quarterback drama story that we need to touch on. It's 97.1.
Do you know the latest numbers with HIV? 1.2 million Americans are living with it. 1 in 8 people in Michigan living with HIV are unaware of their status.
But do you also know HIV is a preventable disease, and you can take steps to change the stats? Take this, for example. Early detection, intervention, and treatment can reduce the risk of HIV transmission by 93%.
Or this. Individuals with HIV who are on treatment and have an undetectable viral load cannot sexually transmit HIV. Because you equals you. Undetectable equals untransmittable.
Change the numbers. Change your future. Learn more and find testing
Choose the right agent with the right marketing plan. Call me, Mark Z, and I'll get your home sold. Guaranteed. I'm not bragging. I'm applying for the job. Call me, Mark Z, today at 844-SOLD by Z and start packing.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized all day. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't give up.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our KeepStock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/KeepStock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you want a new car, but you need someone who cares about you and your situation, come see us today at Milan Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in beautiful Imlay City, Michigan, or click MilanChrysler.com.
Thunder Over Michigan is back August 7th and 8th with the first ever drive-in air show. The morning show will feature the USAF F-35 demo team. The afternoon show will feature the USAF Thunderbirds. All shows will feature the world's largest gathering of Mitchell B-25 bombers. Go to NikkeiAirMuseum.com/air show to purchase your ticket now.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Capurro of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbthealth.com.
This hour's ticket signing bonus keyword is BAND. Text BAND to 72881 for your chance at $1,000.
You just said he's got a chip on his shoulder. Jared Goff, he's an afterthought for those who cover the league. Insignificant. List comes out, top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. None of us expect him to be on that list. But then CBS Sports continued with, what about who's on the outside looking in? Who's next? They named 25 quarterbacks. Didn't mention Jared Goff other than to say, basically, he's a bust. Throwing him in like, hey, be careful with young quarterbacks and buying into the couple years in their career because, look at Jared Goff. So we've asked Lion fans, and they want to get in on this, 248-539-9797. Is Goff being overlooked? Is he flying under the radar and you believe he's going to bounce back now that he's in Detroit? 248-539-9797. We'll also get into the other NFC North quarterback drama. We'll do that at 12:45. Everybody focusing on Rodgers, and rightfully so, but not the only situation that we should keep an eye on. Here's my stance when it comes to Jared Goff. He's not very good. And I think joining the Detroit Lions, who are also not good, is going to set him up for failure. We can focus on, well, if they run the ball well and play high-level defense, he can game manage his way into average quarterback play. They don't have a great defense. They don't even have a good defense. And the run game is still in progress. He's a $30 million game manager. He's a placeholder. He's a guy who turned the ball over more than any quarterback in football the last 2 years. He's a guy who threw touchdowns right around where he's being ranked on these lists. He was 26th in touchdown percentage last year, 28th the year before. Guys, he's a bad quarterback on a bad team. He's kind of an afterthought. I mean, if they got everything right and had an offensive player of the year in the backfield like he did in LA, and they had one of the best defenses in the sport like he did in LA, hey, you can win some playoff games with him. But I don't think you want to build up a whole team and then feel like your quarterback is a limited guy. And that's why the Rams said, we got to move on and we got to upgrade.
Well, that's why the Lions said, we'll take another first-round pick, and thank you very much. And they're not married to Jared Goff long-term. They're married to him for at least this upcoming season and likely the season after that. And then they can cut ties, and it's not going to cost them much. And, oh, look, they'll have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years to try and evaluate which quarterback they should go with in the draft if that's where they have to go. Now, there's a possibility that he could be just fine.
But just fine. With him. Well, if he's just fine, I think you still draft a quarterback. For for what he's being paid like a franchise guy.
If he's just fine, he can still draft a quarterback, but do you take one in the first round?
Well, I think you got to get your franchise. If they're as bad as people think they're going to be, and they're not going to be favored in any game this fall, according to the odds makers. Now, they'll win a few, but they'll end up picking near the top. That's your chance to get a franchise guy.
It's absolutely.
Then you hang on to Goff for that one more year where he's kind of an ambassador, right? Where he kind of provides the opportunity to pass the torch when that next guy is ready. So I do view him as a placeholder. I do get why he's not on the radar of those who rank quarterbacks going into the season, and there's really no buzz around him outside of maybe here, and that's kind of what I want to tap into. 248-539-9797.
Do you give any possibility to the fact that he could be good?
I mean, everybody says change of scenery can be good for a guy. I just look at the scenery he's joining, and it's a pretty brutal battle scene, right? I mean, it's a lot of blood and guts, and it's people spilled out on the battlefield. This is not a place that you go in and you're set up for success.
Yeah, unfortunately for if you're a Goff supporter or you believe Goff is actually a decent quarterback, they did not give him much to work with here. I mean, the offensive line looks okay. Look, it could be something positive, right? And Swift is a young and upcoming back. Jamal Williams, nice backup. But as far as receiving threats, it's Hockenson and nobody else. I mean, I don't think Goff is that good, but this year, when he comes out there and he doesn't play that well, I'm not going to put it all on Goff, because I'm telling you, the Lions are giving him nothing to work with. They're not helping this man at all. We had Goff on right after he signed with the Lions, right? And we asked him at the draft. He mentioned a playmaker. You know, quarterbacks want someone to throw to. I mean, as much as everyone thinks, of course they want to be protected, but they want someone to throw to. Joe Burrow asking for Jamar Chase ahead of Penei Sewell. You know, they want playmakers. They want someone to help them make them look good, right? Jared Goff is coming to an organization with wide receivers that are signed to one-year deals and rookies. You know, he has not been given much to work with, so I don't expect him to be a world beater, and we really shouldn't be, because like I said already, there's nothing out there for no one to throw to for him. So I kind of feel bad for Goff in a sense, like
he's going to have to go
bashing him, and it's not going to look good.
He's really in a no-win situation.
No, it's not going to look good.
The team's probably going to be bad, and offensively with the receiver position, there's not a whole lot to get excited about. So you don't expect his numbers to be there. How is he supposed to, win over fans? I mean, unless he has a great season, which is highly unlikely. I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, if he goes out there and manages what they have and they win 5 games, 6 games, and he throws for 3,500 yards, he only throws for like a dozen interceptions or something like that. You could look at that, we could spin it and say, okay, look, he had a crap team to deal with, and he was baseline at worst, he was slightly less than mediocre. Add some pieces and he can go forward with it. I think it's just an interesting watch for this upcoming season, and unfortunately it's not a real fair watch for this upcoming season because of what's there.
Well, it's just so funny because I hear you say that, and I agree with it, right? That the cards are stacked against him. The team's not very good. It's hard to blame it on the quarterback. Yet isn't that what we just did to the last guy for 10, 12 years, right? The Lions have been atrocious. No defense, no running game for 10 years. And we go, well, but the last guy wasn't any good. So Goff's going to get fed to the Wolves here. I mean, that's just the reality.
He was fed to the Wolves when he came in as a rookie. He started 7 games and he went 0-7, right? He did not have a good season, and that was a bad Rams team. The second year, he goes 11-4, has a quarterback rating of 100. The third year, they go 13-3, and has a quarterback of 101. So it's not like he was just managing the game for the Rams. You don't do that with a rating of 100. And he did it in back-to-back seasons. Now, those were good Ram teams, but he was one of the reasons they were good Ram teams. Like I said, then you had Todd Gurley's injury. Then you lose receivers, and you have injuries to the offensive line. Still goes 9-7 and 9-6. I will argue it's probably on the back of the defense why he won the games. But, he wasn't god-awful, but he wasn't very good either. 86 rating, and then he had a 90 rating last year. I'm amazed he actually threw for as many yards as he did the last couple of seasons, given what they had.
What are people expecting from Jared Goff? 248-539-9797. This person says, unnamed texter, I'm not expecting huge things from him. However, the older article ranked him behind rookies who haven't taken a snap yet. Clown rankings, that's Jeff in a mail truck. So I guess not an unnamed texter. JT says, Goff.
But it's a projection. I mean, if you're going to project that, Trevor Lawrence, everybody said that's number one quarterback in the draft. He's going to be really good. Well, they also had resources to put in to help him out, to sign free agents, because they had a bunch of money to spend, and then they clearly had lots of draft capital too. Trevor Lawrence, I'm not going to be surprised if he's a better than average quarterback from day one.
Person says I'm very optimistic with Goff, hoping he can get in a groove with Cephas.
I mean, I hope Quinton Cephas is. I hope he shows some growth from one year to the next.
Yeah, that's what I hope that text means. That Cephas is so good, he's like a 1 or 2.
You talk about afterthoughts. I mean,
you want to go in and get in a groove with your 4th receiver.
Yeah, they'll be running scout team next year together. Goff's reputation is mainly taken a hit because everyone buys into the hype that Sean McVay is the biggest coaching god to ever walk the sidelines. Maybe McVay is great because of his players, including Goff. Question mark.
Well, I kind of lean on the camp that I'm not so sure that Sean McVay is the great mind everybody thinks he is. They had an awesome defense. They have the best defensive player, one of the best defensive players we've seen. Well, arguably ever. And sure, he's playing the same era as J.J. Watt, but Aaron Donald was ridiculous. And then you add Jalen Ramsey to the mix and the backside of it. They got 2 of the best ever.
People upset that Teddy Bridgewater is ahead of him on this list. Let's hear from some of the people on the phones, because we've been stacking them here. Sean on a cell. Sean. Let's see if I can press the right button here. Sean, you're on 97.1.
Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sean, what do you think of Goff?
Man, I am optimistic as everyone else here. I kind of liken Goff coming to Detroit. Almost, well, not a great comparison, but Chauncey Billups was an NBA journeyman before we picked him up here in Detroit. And he kind of turned the thing around here. And I'm just hoping that, we could give him some of that Detroit mojo and he can do the same here for his career. I mean, I would like to know his...
What's that?
You'd like to know his what?
I think he's a bad
look at the offense surrounding him that he had. I think it was a really friendly offense for him the first couple of years he came in. I mean, the guy went to the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't see him being a complete bust. And I hope it kind of works out. Also, if I could shout out someone real quick. I talked to you guys about a week ago about LeBron James kind of walking off the court with his team, kind of looking like not that guy.
Right.
Kevin Durant last night, to me, put a fork in LeBron James. Because
LeBron wasn't playing.
Look at the circumstances. He had similar circumstances. Both of his stars were out. And James Harden didn't play last night. Do we agree to that?
Yeah, I mean, he played maybe 1 for 10. It was a complete non-factor. Right, yeah. And your point is that he put the team on his back when LeBron had the injury to Anthony Davis. He didn't do the same.
James put the team on his back, and it was too much weight. He walked off the court crying. This kid, KD, we know. I mean, we give...
LeBron's also won a bunch of championships. I mean, I don't like LeBron James. I don't like Kevin Durant. But I can respect the hell out of both of their abilities, and I can clearly argue, as well as anybody else, that LeBron James is one of the top 3 players of all time. You can make that argument, and it's hard to argue against it, given all the championships that LeBron James has had. If you're judging LeBron James clearly as a, 36 king? You're judging him clearly as a 36-year-old and forgetting about everything he accomplished earlier on, then you're being foolish.
Yeah, LeBron James has carried out the Cleveland Cavaliers to a championship. I mean, yeah, LeBron's 36, Kevin Durant's 32. You can argue Kevin Durant's better than LeBron right now. That's fine. But
right now he is.
To forget everything LeBron did before that is... Now, if you want to argue the fact walking off the court, that has nothing to do with... That's just being a good teammate or not.
Yeah, right.
That's just...
It was a weak look.
Yeah. Bad move.
Bad look.
A lot of people to hear from on this as Jared Goff. I don't know, is he being disrespected? But he's being left off all these quarterback lists. Is he being overlooked? And then we'll pay off what I was talking about, the drama in the NFC North, and I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers. It's 97.1.
Look, you're thinking about things you want to do this summer and into the fall. You're going to send one of your kids to college. Maybe you've got a backyard project. It's a big one, like a pool or a deck or a home addition. You're trying to figure out how you're going to pay for it all. Well, you've got resources, and it's right there in your home equity. Think back to a year ago. The average homeowner gained $20,000 in home equity. So think about that. Why not put it to work? Refinance through Hall Financial. Those home improvement projects, that lingering debt, whatever it is, take care of it with Hall Financial. They've got over 3,000 five-star reviews, and they're known for their five-star service. Hall Financial is absolutely committed to client service, and they focus on putting you in the best financial position possible. The Fed announced recently the interest rates are still going to remain low, but if you haven't refinanced in the last 12 months, that you haven't missed out yet. But you're going to want to act now before you do. Those rates are fantastic for refinancing. You can qualify for a free appraisal. 2/3 of their loans don't need an appraisal. Waived appraisal fees can save you up to $750. Your loan likely will close in 10 business days or less. You've got equity, so you've got choices. Go check them out today. Go to hallfirst.com today. That's hallfirst.com.
If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. We also provide pre-screened quality tenants to our property owners. We love to match good people to good homes. Contact us today, northbloomfield.com.
This Odyssey.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Lalonde Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
This is Damon Amendolara with an Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by Lexicon, your holistic provider of practice management, software, and legal support services. Watching Kevin Durant light up the Brooklyn sky like low-flying jets from JFK was awe-inspiring last night. Whatever shot KD wanted, he got. He dropped 49 points, 17 rebounds, and dished out 10 assists in what some of his former teammates are calling his greatest performance ever. He did it without Kyrie and a hobbled Harden, giving us a look at what KD could accomplish, even if he didn't have super friends. He learned the composure in huge games and the confidence to take over playoff battles from his winning at Golden State. Without those lessons, he's still the not enough when it matters most KD from Oklahoma City. But he's a graduate now. Damn, is it amazing to watch. This is David Amendolara.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
Napa know-how. Some things just go better together. Like a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil and a platinum filter for $26.48. It's like bacon and eggs, hot dogs and mustard, or Joni and Chachi. Ask your dad about it. That's Napa full synthetic and a platinum filter for $26.48. Quality parts, help.
A double quarter pounder with cheese with just ketchup and onion, and a Big Mac meal, large size with a Coke.
Anything else?
That's it.
1620 for Sunday. Thank you.
Makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to HIMS, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
Have you
Thanks.
Just drafted Justin Fields. In fact, not to take. Not that you moved to take. Moved up to take him after you moved up to take Trubisky, who let go. So you're putting your eggs in the basket of him. I understand wanting to bring him in slowly, but to say the job is just,
Yep.
that's way too aggressive. Especially with the position here, like they said, the Chris thing. You might not be here a year from now.
Thank you.
You might not be here after 3 seasons and start this quarterback. So I think that'd be a great place type situation. But talking about golf today, it's the same as this always come on. CBS Sports Network, Tom 10 guys, shocker golf's not there. But if you read on, they also list conventions just missed the next tier. Maybe next year they go and they have 25 quarterbacks of interest and golf's just not of interest. So is this a situation where he's flying under the radar and he's going to surprise people? Because it's just not go. And I know the answer may lie somewhere in the middle. We go Mike Ryan, Don Lightner at 97 million.
He's a Super Bowl quarterback. You can't overlook that. I understand he had a great offense, a great defense, but he's still a Super Bowl quarterback. So I think we just got to give him a shot and just kind of have an open mind about it.
Yeah, I think, people when they hear, well, he's a Super Bowl quarterback, but Brad Johnson was Super Bowl too. Trent Dilfer, right? I don't think he's of that ilk. I think he's a more competent quarterback than those guys were. I mean, he was taken first overall in the NFL draft, right? He did have a storied career when he was at Cal and put up eye-popping numbers. He had an exceptional second and third year in the NFL. The last 2 years have come under question. And now people gave up on him, and I feel like people gave up on him because his head coach gave up on him. Because they weren't winning the games, all right? Because they had back-to-back 9-win seasons, still made the playoffs, and by the way, he came off the bench and helped win a playoff game this past season. But I don't think he's a savior by any means. And I've always said, and Kang knows I've always said this, just be accepting of the fact, not the fact, but the possibility he could be better than what you expect. And I'm going to ask you, Jim, because you have no faith in him at all.
None. Zero.
What would he have to do to get the eyebrow raised? To get, wait a minute. Maybe, where the voice gets high, what's wrong? I don't know, that's so bad, I don't know. What would he have to do?
He'd have to be a top 10 quarterback. However you define